You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home Finance Radio Show, only by Jennifer Talk. It's my Ron Siegel, your host, local and national real estate expert, and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel. And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Tom Borsuk is in the house today.
Good morning.
Always just for you, Tom.
Good morning. I think I'll talk over this, whatever this is in the background. Good to see you, Ron, as always.
Good to see you as well. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I'm always looking to celebrate something. It does not matter. Well, I guess it does matter a little bit what we're celebrating. We're always looking for something fun to celebrate. And I look today and I'm just wondering about some of today's celebration items. Somebody must have got into my martini mix before they started putting these celebrations up, because today is National Acne Positivity Day. Who celebrates acne? How do you celebrate acne? That's a fascinating one. But they say you got to have a celebration for everything. National Chicken Boy Day honors the birthday of an interesting statue in California. I wonder if they took that statue down. Celebrating the ceremonial birthday and learn more about this unique creation. Chicken Boy stands 22 feet tall, holds a bucket of chicken. I wonder if it's Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's just another one that, no excitement on that one. I think my volumes are going a little crazy here today. Maybe it's somebody playing tricks in my head.
No more finger licking good.
No more finger licking good. I guess that's it. No Rhyme Nor Reason Day. Another one. What do we have to do to find something to celebrate today? Maybe tomorrow. Well, we're going to take a little bit of time off at the end of the week, and I can't even find anything. Coffee Ice Cream Day is coming up. I think I'm going to go backwards. There's got to be something in our history that we can celebrate. There's not a lot of excitement coming forward. So we will celebrate something. I think I'll just celebrate that we're not going to celebrate a whole lot today. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 79.70. S&P 500 up 11.75. The NASDAQ up 117. Oil up 53 cents a barrel, continuing its rise in the markets. And we're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial, or the rates, the interest rates. Let's see what those are doing for us today. 10-year Treasury down maybe 1 point. So there's not a whole lot of excitement in the markets unless you are the proud owner of some Zoom stock. Did you see that one this morning, Zoom? I woke up this morning and in one of the groups that I'm in, they're talking about if you didn't buy this yesterday, because we were talking about buying it yesterday, did you do it? Well, if you did, you'd be pretty excited today because the stock is up 120 points right now, up 120 points as we speak, 446, up 37%. What if you had a little bit of that stock yesterday? Now, the founder of Zoom, his net worth went up about $4 billion overnight. Now worth $12 billion on his Zoom stock.
if you can get anything that becomes any business, if your business name becomes a verb, you got it made, right? Think about it. Google, right? Are you going to Google it? Are you going to Zoom it? Are you going to do a Zoom, right? Think about some of these things. And there's some issues out there, and we'll talk about some of them in the Mortgage Minute today when we get to it, because there's some interesting conversations going along here, right? Because part of it has to do with the fact that people are not able to work right now. Moms, I don't go sending me the notes telling me that I'm being sexist, because more often than not, it is the moms that are the ones that are they've got the tougher job. I'll be quite honest with you. When I had to stay home for a few months when I was ill, my wife went to work. I said, let me get back to work. It's a whole lot easier than staying home with kids, right? But 21% reduction in work hours for moms now that the kids are trying to be homeschooled. 7% have had to quit working completely because of homeschooling. Think about that. What's that doing to personal finance? Amazing. Hey, did you see that breaking news? I think we came out with it yesterday for you. We got the breaking news. That was when Joe Biden came out of his hole for a little while and went to Penn. I should throw this out there. Now, Joe Biden came out of his basement, similar coming out of his hole yesterday. And he went to Pennsylvania, got a whole 2 hours reprieve, maybe a little fresh air. Did not help his sanity. If you listen to what he had to say, you had to wonder. But isn't it, maybe, I mix up my animals all the time. Isn't it the gopher that usually comes out sometime in the spring to see if we're going to have more spring or if summer's coming? Kind of like Joe Biden getting out of his hole, coming out to see if we're going to have an election or not. You got to wonder. And it fascinates me just listening to what he had to say, because apparently, and I'm just surmising here, but I don't know whether the basement has no internet connection or no TV or no cable, because Joe Biden had so many of his facts wrong, talking about the fact that the president likes the idea of all of this rioting. Now, if Vice President Biden had not been in his hole, or if he had that internet connection, he probably would have known that it was the president that's been hollering at the mayor and the governor of Minnesota, let us send in the National Guard, we'll solve the problem in an hour. How he does it in an hour, I don't know, but that's what he said. He said the same thing in Portland to the mayor and the governor of Portland. Let us send in the National Guard. You'll have your city back, and you won't have all of the rioting that's going on there for the last 3 months. Said the same thing in Seattle. They let him do it in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and he worked, right? So he's going to go over there today, even though the mayor doesn't really want him, the governor doesn't want him. Apparently they like the rioting. They don't like the fact that the president took care of these problems. And Joe Biden comes out and says that it's all the president's fault. Do you think it was the president that was the one responsible for the mob that went after Rand Paul as he left the White House? Was it the president's issue that the mob went after Martha McCallum, a TV host, when she left the White House after the RNC convention or the RNC speech? I don't think the president would have had the mob going after the people that are his supporters or they're covering his campaign. Now, the reporters might want to cover Biden's campaign, but they can't get them all in the basement. There's a problem there. How do you put all those people in the basement to go in and have a conversation? Oh, wait. Vice President doesn't have conversations. He just goes out there and dictates. He says what he wants. No one can challenge anything that he says.
Nothing like a little air of superiority.
Yeah, nothing like a little air of superiority. Crazy stuff from the vice president. And I've got to believe that the American people are smart enough to realize that we are in a world of hurt if the vice president becomes I think it would be the president. There's got to be a term for it. I don't think we've ever had it in the United States, but the president in title only, right? Because we'd end up having Kamala Harris would really be doing the president's work until something happened to the president. I don't want to say anything, but Jeffrey Epstein, do you think he killed himself? I'm just throwing that out there. But I hope they have Secret Service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, plus some. I'd sleep with my eyes open if I was the vice president. But that's just me. Amazing stuff that's going on in our country right now. Who would have ever thought that these were the topics that we would be talking about on Ron Siegel Radio? Who would have ever thought that these would be the topics of the day? Because, and I have people asking, well, Ron, why do you discuss these topics? You've got basically a home and finance show. We talk about anything that affects the roof over your head or your bank account. Well, what do you think is going to happen if some of these things come to pass? I had a conversation over the weekend. If you want to hear this one, this will make you completely ill. We've got Prop 15 coming up in Calizuela. If Prop 15 passes in Calizuela, and that's just an entry level, watch what happens to Calizuela real estate. You'll be able to buy property in Calizuela for the same price as you can buy it in Mexico, right? Because it's going to be a catastrophic issue. And no one's really talking about that. We're going to have to get into that in the days and weeks to come so you understand exactly what is at stake. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, is it safe to live in a retirement community? We have got the expert with us. It's not just about the price of the home anymore. And we might even see if we can find a featured home. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 93.76. NASDAQ up 126. S&P 500 is now up 1078. The 10-year Treasury, fascinating how that's pretty flat, so that's not a big deal right there. 10-year Treasury, the yield, the rate, interest rate flat. Mortgage-backed securities are up 6 basis points. We've been floating on those. If you don't understand floating, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Don't want to get into that right here, right now. But why is all this happening? Well, mortgage bonds again flat after a solid day yesterday. Another quiet economic news day ahead of the first of 2 important jobs reports. The ADP employment report, where estimates are calling for 900,000 new job creations in August. On Friday, we're going to get the more important BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics report, where it is estimating that 1.4 million new jobs were created. CoreLogic, they released their home price index report for July, showing that home prices increased 1.2% during the month and 5.5% on a year-over-year basis. They forecast that home prices will rise 0.1% in August and 0.6% in the year going forward. Made some big revisions to their forecast. 2 months ago, they estimated real estate was going to drop. Real estate was going to drop by 6.6% year over year. Can you imagine that? 6.6% year over year? Ow! Yeah, not a good idea. Then they came back with some revisions and said, well, they could revise it to 1% drop last month. And while a 6% gain is a big change, we still think it is very conservative. And we're going to see much stronger levels. Now, just remember what we've been telling you, because we've been talking to you for years that real estate is a good investment. Can you hear us? Diana Olick. She hasn't figured out any of this yet. Eventually, she might get something right in real estate. Fascinates me how on CNBC, she continues to give us the same bad information month after month, year after year. Why? So basically, we've come up with our own sound effect. Whenever Diana Olick has a real estate projection, we've got our intro. Probably the best place you can put your information from Diana Olick. That's the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we always have to start our segments with our friend Tom Borsuk when he comes to visit us, because we know he's such a big fan.
Oh my.
Tom Borsuk, Senior Samaritans, is in the house. Welcome.
I was going to wear my sweatshirt in and I didn't.
Well,
I should have, but I did not.
You know, I can share this with you this year, Tom, because I've shared this with a couple of my other UCLA fan friends. We know finally UCLA will be able to match USC's record this year.
That's right. Hey, we're undefeated so far.
That's right. You're probably going to stay that way.
Absolutely. First undefeated season. Yeah, that's going to be great.
and other than in basketball, which we know, I don't think USC has a basketball team, but that's a different subject.
Yeah, I'm talking football.
Yeah, football. Well, I don't think UCLA has a football. They got a coach, but I don't know what happened.
They're undefeated. That's all I know.
Yeah, well.
Last time I looked, they haven't lost yet.
So well, other than money, right? Money, like every other college and university around the country, they're bleeding money because we did have. Now they're coming out that the CDC says there were 9,000 people that have died strictly of COVID. The others all had comorbidities that could have had an influence on their passing. And I don't make light. Don't send me the letters. I'm not making light of people who are extremely ill or people who have passed, because we mourn all of those. But the idea here is it's those folks that have gotten hurt by the pandemic. You mourn for them. It's the folks that have gotten hurt by suicides, losing their business, losing their jobs, losing their minds because of what the government's doing. That's a whole different issue. But I digress, and I did want to chat with Tom because he is our senior expert. So what's happening in the senior? I mean, in New York, they blamed everything on the governor sending seniors with COVID back to the communities, and I'm sure it couldn't have had a benefit. It had to scare seniors coming into communities.
Imagine that. So yes, it is his fault that that's what indeed what happened. So nursing homes, hospitals, medical facilities are a hot spot, right? You're loaded with seniors. You've got infections in there anyway. In the normal world, now you add COVID-19. It's rampant. So to send people back in, force them back in, when we did that originally, that was horrific. You won't own up to it, but I digress as well. So, but the bottom line is, excuse me, COVID-19 is wreaking havoc on everything, of course, in everybody's life, but the senior community even more so, just because they are in that exposed group that is so sensitive to it. And if somebody gets it, it's such a contagious hypervirus that if one gets it, boy, they can all get it quickly, especially in a nursing home, real fast. So it's been very challenging for many places.
So what are the options that people have if you've got a loved one that's in a community?
Yeah.
Are they making any kind of provisions for to help them out in any way, or do I just go and grab my loved one and say, hey, you're out of here, you're living with me for the next 6 months?
You mean if they have it or do not have it?
They do not have it, but
Yeah.
they're worried.
Well, you talked about isolation just with the general population, right? And suicide and all that stuff. Well, with the senior world, it's even worse because like in nursing homes, when you would normally be able to go see your loved one, if they're in there temporarily, nursing homes right now are completely locked down from anybody outside. So these seniors are completely isolated. It's a sad situation for them because, and what happens is they lose their will. It's not suicidal mostly, but it's mostly, when a senior has an issue going on, you want them to continue having a will to live.
Sure.
That's part of the challenge in the pre-COVID world is, okay, we want to give you a will to live, give you a nice home, give you a nice place to live, a place you can thrive, a place you can have something to look forward to, even though you're 90 and you have ailments, right? You add COVID-19, and now this family can't go see them. They're stuck. And this is in nursing homes and hospitals. They can't even go see them. They're isolated. So that isolation, and here comes winter. In wintertime, we normally have an isolation issue because it's cold and it's Christmassy. And the highest amount of deaths among seniors is between Thanksgiving and February.
Really?
Yes, it's a stat. It's because the families aren't around, and it's Christmas time, and it's New Year's, and a lot of celebration, and they get depressed. When seniors get depressed, they can lose their will and they can die. It's a sad situation. So this COVID thing's really put a wrench in it.
I would imagine, because I remember my mom's last years, that was the whole thing is she wouldn't go into a community. She wanted to be at her own house, but her mission in life, so to speak, was waiting for her kids and grandkids to call and come say, let's go to dinner, let's go to lunch, can I come over and visit, whatever.
Exactly right. They're just waiting for families to come see them, and when they can't, they can't. So what they're doing, in nursing homes is really bad. They're trying to get them out of nursing homes as quickly as possible into assisted living or board and cares, which the benefit there is they're allowing visitations outside on the back patio, proper PPE, so proper equipment on, proper distancing, but at least you're in person. You can be 10 feet away and you're seeing each other. Or if they're proper PPE, they can hug and touch, but through, lungs are protected. So there's ways to do it around in assisted living and board and cares, which is, of course, where I place most of my seniors. So we're making it happen because that human touch for them, vitally important for human beings in general.
Sure.
But for seniors, 15 times more than that, just because they don't touch and they don't feel and they don't see, they lose their will and they just die.
Well, could you imagine being in your 80s and I've got a little bit of experience. It's not that I'm in my 80s, but just I've a little experience in watching. Is you're that you've got more years behind you than ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a fact. I'm not trying to be morbid, but that's the case.
Right.
And then you're saying, okay, well, I've already been isolated for 4 months. I can never get those 4 months back.
Yeah.
How many more 4-month periods do I have to endure this?
Yeah, it's a major percentage of your remaining time left.
Right.
So if you lose a year, and you've got 10 years, you just lost 10%.
Right.
That's massive for them. So that is where the depression comes in. And they don't necessarily know about, since they're isolated, they don't really know what's going on nor comprehend is there an end in sight? It's almost one of those things where if you're stuck in an elevator, oh, sure, it was only, 3 days. Well, on day 1 and 2, you didn't know it was 3 days. You don't know how long it's going to be. So it can be depressive,
Sure.
So they don't know how long this is going to last. And believe me, even though the country is starting to open up a little bit, the last thing that's going to open up are nursing homes and hospitals because of the high risk group of seniors. They're going to be the last one. They're going to be the most protective of that group of anything. So those are going to open up later.
It's fascinating how we're trying to protect the seniors so much that we may be harming them through our protection.
Same thing is going on in society. Do we lock it down and save these infections, but at what cost?
Right.
Same thing with the seniors. We're locking them down, but at what cost? There has to be a way to do it, and that's what we're doing in assisted livings and board and cares, is making it happen through distancing and protective gear, sometimes even a plastic shield in between you, but you can see each other and go up and touch each other.
Like we've seen in some restaurants, if they've got these plastic partitions.
Yep. So where you can at least touch and be with each other and hear each other and just be there. It's such a big difference. So
it's very important now. And one of the reasons that Tom and I are chatting about this is not that we want to bring anybody down or be morbid. We want to give you solutions as to what might be the possibilities, how you can make your senior feel a little more comfortable. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Tom Borsuk, Senior Samaritans. When we come back, it's not just about the real estate price of the home. Wonder what else it's about then. And we've got a featured property brought to you by mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by the Area Trusted Real Estate Professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text or go to SLT Home Digest, mbelinks.com/SLT Home Digest. Get the free report. I like it. It's free. But it tells you exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the marketplace believes about your property. Did I mention it's free? Yeah, it's not just about the price of the home. When most of us begin searching for a home, we naturally start by looking at the price. It's important, however, to closely consider what else impacts the purchase unless you're paying cash. It's not just the price of the house that matters, but the overall cost in the long run. Today, that's largely impacted by low mortgage rates. Low mortgage rates are actually making homes more affordable now than at any time since 2016, and here's why. Today's low rates are offsetting rising home prices. We've been talking to you about the increase in home prices for quite a while on the broadcast. I'm trying to get a chart up here to show you if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or AM 1490 KMET on their video stream on the ABC News and Talk Network. We've got that video going right now. But today's low rates are offsetting rising home prices because it's less expensive to borrow money. In essence, purchasing a home while mortgage rates are this low may save you significantly over the life of your home loan. Taking a look at the graph that I've got shared with data sourced from the National Association of Realtors, the higher the bar's price, the more affordable homes are. The orange bars represent the period of time when homes were most affordable, but that's also reflective of when the housing bubble burst. At that time, distressed properties, foreclosures, short sales dominated the market. That's a drastically different environment than what we have in the housing market now. The green bar represents today's market. It shows that homes truly are more affordable than they've been in years, and much more so than they were in the normal market that led up to the housing crash. Low mortgage rates are a big differentiator driving this affordability. What the experts are saying about affordability, they agree. Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at NAR, although housing prices consistently moved higher when the favorable mortgage rates are factored in, and overall home purchase was more affordable in 2020's second quarter compared to 1 year ago. Bill Banfield, the executive vice president, capital markets, Quicken Loans. No matter what you're looking for, this is a great time to buy since the current low interest rates can stretch your spending power. Mortgage News, they say the same thing. Forbes, all of them. Bottom line, when purchasing a home, it's important to think about the overall cost, not just the price of the home. Homes on your wish list may be more affordable today than you think. Let's chat about it. We can talk about the cost of waiting. All of those things are issues that we should be looking at if you're thinking about it. And remember my feeling, and I've proved it to you many, many times. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. We are continuing our conversation. Tom Borsuk is in the house. He is our Senior Samaritan. Actually, the name of the company is Senior Samaritans as well. And Tom brings us some great information on a regular basis, talking about the senior community. And my feeling is, I've said this many, many times, Tom. I said, either you are a senior, you may know a senior, you might love a senior, and maybe even want to become a senior. So this pertains to everybody, right? So we're chatting with Tom about what's going on in the world right now, and from the COVID standpoint. And we were talking a little bit before the break about protecting our seniors, our loved ones, and are we doing them a favor? And Tom, I've been a big proponent of senior communities. I've gone through now a couple of times watching what happens to seniors when they try and retire at home. And there's a lot of statistics that say retiring or living out your late years at home, there are some benefits there. And I've watched, and I said, you know something, I watched some seniors that go into some communities and they're too busy for their family.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had some families actually call me and tell me that, when I check in with them after they've moved into a community, they'll say, yeah, I can't see my mom. She's so busy and I have to get on her schedule. She's got the shuttle bus to this and the shuttle bus to that. She's got activities in the community and friends that they meet and people they go out to lunch with, or just whatever. That's the whole point of it, is giving them, this whole pandemic gave people a sense of what it's like to be at home with nothing to do, perhaps. Like maybe they were out without a job, maybe they couldn't get out of their home, so they were stuck. Imagine a senior, imagine that, and you've got 5 to 10 years left to live versus your whole life ahead of you. It adds even more to that. And that's what a senior goes through. They're like, well, I'm not working, I'm 90, or I'm 85, or whatever I am. I don't, so work's not a thing for me. All I have is family and, what's really important to me for the next 5 to 10 years. So it can be depressing, so that to provide them more things that they can thrive in and things that they can actually attach themselves to on a regular basis for a routine is beneficial to them in a huge way. It really gives them something to look forward to. I have so many families. Actually, on the next break, I'll play this voicemail I got from this lady. She's so excited about what has transformed her life. It's amazing.
Something I can certainly imagine that, because I've just seen with some of my own family members, younger, not seniors, who during this pandemic they're just going out of their mind by the isolation.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you do now in this time frame, this era, as to how do we deal with that for people? How do we help? Are you able to help place seniors, or because I know that your business model historically has always been that you put the senior and their family into your car, truck, van, bus, whatever it is, and kind of do a home tour.
Right. It's been a little different. There's no doubt about it. The tours themselves are different. We caravan now, so the families will meet at a place, and then we'll see that place, and then we'll go to the next place, but we'll caravan. So we'll be in 2 or 3 cars going to the next event. So normally, yes, I would be in my car. I would take them around. But now, and then also the places that we see, that's a little different. Some are allowing tours, some are not. Sometimes we have to walk around the outside of the building, peek in windows and see the room, see the activities through, the outside door, and sticking our heads in. It's, of course, then we're gowned up, gloves, mask, there's the whole deal. So it's a different world, but we're getting around it. We're finding a way to be able to view communities and take families around, because here's the bottom line. Seniors still need help. Pandemic shut down things, right? Well, senior world did not. And so people are still falling and breaking hips, still needing care, still having strokes and needing help. I once said before pandemic that senior world is recession proof. Well, now it's pandemic proof. I haven't stopped being busy one day.
Yeah, because you're still trying to help those families to see what's going on, right? I mean, mom, dad, granny, grandpa, they still have to find a place to live. If they're right, they're not getting younger because of the time didn't stop for them.
Right. If they need help, the pandemic didn't prevent that. They still need help. So what do you do? Especially if a spouse is taking care of a spouse. Well, it's overwhelming. It's still overwhelming, right? Even more overwhelming, if anything. So the help is still there in a big way.
It's good to hear, because that was a big concern that I had when we got together to come on the broadcast. Is, are we able to help people? Are we able to? So that really hasn't stopped. Are you believing that it's going to be and I don't even know if this ever happened in the past. Did seniors find that they would go into a facility, into a community, I guess is the right term, and something, it wasn't the exact right fit, so they wanted to go to a new community.
Right.
Or maybe the family moved.
Right.
Do you think that you're going to have more temporary stops right now because we're trying to put our senior someplace where they're safe until we can find the long-term solution?
No, good question. That's a big thing now is less moving around. So it's more difficult. The reason being is because if they move from a facility, and I say medical facility, into a community, or from a community to another community, every time there's a move, or even if they go out of the community for lunch, when they come back in, they have to have COVID tests because they don't know what they're exposed to. So any type of move from one place to another, they're exposed to the outside, that new place is requiring at least one, if not two, negative COVID tests. And they'll also possibly even isolate them for a week or two, just to be on the safe side. Because think about a community taking a risk. They have a community of seniors. They're bringing in a new senior. It puts their seniors at risk. If they, or a family member. So the family members, same thing. But when a senior moves into a community for the first time, they have to be negative COVID tests coming in, which usually happen 2 or 3 days before that. So they still bring them in, and they still need to isolate them a little bit for it. Sometimes 3 days, some are 2 weeks, depends on their requirement. But so because of that, less moving around, to answer your question. They're not. So really, that makes it even more important that we make the right fit. So it's the right community for them.
Right fit first time.
Which is what I've always done anyway with my business.
Right.
I do not want to move people around because it declines the senior anyway. You don't want them moving around and changing their routine often. You want them to keep their routine, but even more so now. They need to make sure it's the right fit, and it's a home run as best as you can the first time.
Great information. Love to get the inside the beltway, or inside the baseball, so to speak.
But it has not slowed down. I can tell you that, and it's ramping up even more.
So the bottom line here is, be aware if you've got a senior that you said, oh, I'm not just going to wait until this is over to try and take care of their issues. Don't wait too long, right? Don't make it so that you say, boy, I wish I had called Tom because XYZ happened, and something, now we've got a bigger issue. So make that phone call, and if you don't have Tom's number, we'll get it to you in the next segment, and I always have it, so you can give me a call at 800-306-1990. You know where to find me. As always, we ask, let's take a look. We got a featured home coming up, more with Tom Borsuk, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership. What if your home was valued at $500,000?
Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by mysocallender.com. Obviously, I love mysocallender.com because it's our company. We try to do everything we can to support the local real estate community. But today's featured home being brought to you by our friend Melinda Johnson. Actually, Melinda's the one that got me or gave me the idea of getting involved in radio many, many years ago. But her property, 19408 Sterling Hill Lane, Paris, California. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, single story. You don't see too many single stories around. Maybe out in Paris you do. In the sought-after community of Boulder Springs. Step inside the welcoming and gorgeous leaded glass entry doors, and you may not want to leave. This home has everything from a billiards room with parquet floors, custom stained glass windows, to a gourmet kitchen with granite counters, stainless steel appliances, and a butler's pantry with access to the dining room. I wonder why you want the butler's pantry to have access to the dining room. I digress. Price $649,000. We've got all the numbers on there for you. 10% down. You're looking at about $3,501 a month. 20% down, $3,038 a month. On that adjustable rate mortgage, about $3,000 a month. Yes, we've got the APRs, 3.347, 3.185, and 3.431, NMLS 217037. That's all the detailed information. Yeah, the government likes us to have all those details for you. But that is the featured home brought to you by our friend Melinda Johnson, Freedom First Properties. And you've got Melinda's contact information right there on the sheet as well. And if you want her to get a hold of her, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 1-800-306-1990. And again, that's the featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com. Continue our conversation with Tom Borsuk. We are chatting about senior communities. Are we still able to find a community for somebody during the pandemic? We covered that. We talked about the security of the properties. Found it fascinating. At least I did. Maybe you didn't. I would assume you probably will as well, because we all kind of think along the same lines, I think, when it comes to security and our seniors. All the things they're doing, Tom, with the personal protective equipment at the senior communities, with the gowns and masks and shields, going with the bouffants and the foot covers and all that stuff too.
That's right, absolutely. No, they're definitely taking it to the next level, because that's the most vulnerable population.
You have to, right? I mean, because the seniors, by definition, most I shouldn't say most. My opinion is, my assumption, most seniors have some sort of comorbidities. Right. Maybe it's heart issues, blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. And I'm not a senior, but I've got that one.
Well, just the immune system being that age, it's basically compromised from day one, no matter what. So they're the ones that always get the flus and the pneumonias. So they're right out the door just because of their age. Their immune system is.
But you're still able to. The bottom line, though, is you're still able to go out and help the people.
100%. One of the issues too is people think, oh well, I'll keep them at home to protect them, right? Well, part of the issue at home is if you need care, and it's that you need to bring in home care, for example. Home is almost one of the worst places, because think about caregivers coming into the home. Caregivers are coming from the outside world into the home every day, or a certain number of hours, and they're also maybe working at other homes in the normal world. They don't work in just one place. So they're going outside into a home, outside into a home. Huge risk. So it's actually safer for them to be in a community that's actually locked down from the outside, from the standpoint of less visitations from the outside world and entertainment, but they're more self-contained. So they have activities and entertainment within themselves, food and et cetera, they can be within themselves, but less stuff coming in from the outside world to infect them.
With people of their own age who they can relate to.
Exactly right.
Right? I mean, my mother could relate to somebody that's another grandmother or whomever. One senior can relate to another senior. They've all waiting for their kids to come by, their kids to call their grandkids.
They're all in this together, so to speak, and they need to be together. And so they can be, the more they can be in a group together to realize, they're not seeing their family quite as much, or they're not getting as much activity as they used to. Well, they need to be together to kind of be together. That's their socialization. Very important.
Yeah, and that is certainly an important part. And the other part is, even if I was trying to take care of my senior myself, right? I'm still going to the store. I'm still going to work as a, what do they call it? A needed essential business.
Exactly right. That's the big risk. So even though they're at home thinking they're safe, no, they're not, unless they're isolated. But somebody has to provide for care for them. If the family members are doing it, multiple family members, multiple people coming in, it's a ginormous risk. So
with all the other benefits you and I have talked about over the years, this is just another benefit of the community lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah, it provides them the will to live, most importantly, the socialization, secondly, and just the comfort of knowing that they're being taken care of and they're in a safe environment.
Well, we didn't even talk a lot about that. Is think about the economies of scale, right? If I have a loved one that's staying at home, right? If they want to have visitors, they've got to go out and they've got to buy all of the equipment, PPE, whatever.
Yeah.
Versus the community, they're already dealing with the grocery company, to make sure that the groceries are coming in a safe way, or they've got enough of them to let the grocery bag sit for a couple of hours, or they run it through the ultraviolet lights that they're starting to come out with.
Exactly right. They're coming in the back door, they're protected, so that those people from the outside are not coming in, but the people from the inside are going and getting it, being protective of their senior inside. So it's really a benefit for them to help protect them, because that's where look at all the deaths, where are they happening? I mean, they're all coming, morbidity. Can't say the word.
Morbidity.
Yeah, morbidity, but also the senior population. It's just a massive amount of percentage of the deaths that are occurring.
And it's a shame, because I mean, this is a bad virus. Anybody that does, I don't follow as much of the things and you can tell from if you watch this on the socials, but we have to have respect for this virus.
100%. I mean, every year, people don't know this, but every year, well, everyone knows that we lose X amount of thousands of people to the flu every single year.
Sure.
In the senior community, every year. And by the way, medical facilities, nursing homes, hospitals, every year for about a week or two, they get shut down. Every year it happens because, we have a flu outbreak, just the regular flu outbreak. So they're shut down from visitation. So we go through this every year, but only on a weekly basis, and then it's open again. So we lose people to the flu every year, especially around that November to February timeframe. It's going to be interesting this year, because this will be the first winter with both the flu and the coronavirus. So we're going to see what happens.
Unfortunately, it's a learning experience for all of us.
100%. This will be the first for everything this year, right?
So tell us a little bit about what you do, Tom. We only have about a minute left, but tell us a little bit about what your services are, how you help.
So I provide a cost-free service to family members to help them and guide them through the entire senior care world, if you will, understanding healthcare industry, that's nursing homes, hospitals, how they work, Medicare, Medi-Cal, looking at their long-term care policies, but really diving into finding out what the care needs are of their elder, of their loved one, and then identifying with them and brainstorming with the family on what the appropriate setting would be or options for them would be, and then introducing them to those options, and then also working with them on the financial part and understanding their estate and making sure that, number one, they don't run out of money, and number two, they can afford it into the future, and proactively preparing for future possible care needs that are needed. So really, it's a consultative, concierge type service where I'm helping them and guiding them and meeting them in person and figuring all this stuff out so that they can quickly get back to their lives, because a lot of times their lives get stopped and then they have to take this on. But I streamline it for them.
Nobody really wants to be going through any of this stuff.
No.
So the idea is the quicker you can get through it, get done with it,
Yep.
and get the right solution, the better it is for everybody.
Yep.
Great information as always. If you want to meet Tom Borsuk, Senior Samaritans, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
I can be saved. Tired that I try.